Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Craft Central Designs. Today I'm sharing with you this very cute reindeer ornament. This reindeer is 17 inches long and can adorn a Christmas tree or a wreath or swag or be added to any holiday decor in any way that you like. So cute, all the features of this reindeer. My inspiration piece was an ornament that kept popping up on Amazon, and I screenshotted it, and I thought I could make something very cute like that. And so I gave it my own creative spin, and I figured out how I was going to make it, and I'm going to share that with you today. Let me show you how I created this ornament. I have here some wood pieces. I have a wood round that I purchased at Dollar Tree. I believe it's around 5.5 inches, I believe. Yes. It's a little bit of a thicker, it's a little bit thicker than a regular, like for example, that's 4-inch wood round, and I purchased those wood rounds at Hobby Lobby. But that's a thinner wood round. The first larger one that I was holding up from Dollar Tree, that one is thicker. So I use a 4-inch wood round for the head of the reindeer. I'm showing you there how I just kind of trimmed up the wood round in the shape of a reindeer head. I also took some oval wood pieces and I created ears out of them from an oval, kind of a tear-shaped piece of wood. I believe I got that in a multi-pack of different shapes in the wood department at Hobby Lobby at some point in time. So I created ears out of those. And then I drew out a template out of just a piece of paper. I created an antler. And I'm going to be creating 2 antlers, obviously, for this reindeer. And I'm going to be using that template. So as I mentioned, I figured this all out little by little as I went along. And I absolutely love to do that. I've mentioned that before. And so here we go. Stick with me. This is a very cute piece. Okay, so I have here some little, they're little wood pieces that I got in the wood department at Hobby Lobby. They're kind of like the thickness of a toothpick, maybe, but they're little teeny weeny, tiny, square shaped, I guess you could call them dowels. So I decided I needed to trim up a 4-inch wood round circle to get some shape of a reindeer head. So I used my wire cutters, of all things, to kind of snip away the wood, and I just drew with a pencil on there the shape that I wanted, and then I took a zip sander once I got the shape, and I just smoothed out the edges. I have here some brown paint that I'll be using to paint the sides of all my wood pieces. So next I have here some jute covered wire that I purchased at Dollar Tree. This is going to serve as the very funny legs that are going to be coming down from the reindeer's body. And I purchased these bells in the craft department at Hobby Lobby. Actually, they weren't in the Christmas department, but they were in the regular bell section. You might want to check the Christmas craft section. You might be able to find them there as well. They look like little cowbells, and those are going to serve as the feet. So on the bottom of this wood piece, I went ahead and drilled 2 holes. I'm going to be inserting that jute covered wire through those 2 holes onto the reindeer, the lower part of the reindeer's body. So I need to drill 2 holes in that wood. I have here it's a kind of a vine or a piece that you can make a garland out of, or a wreath out of, make a wreath out of. And I got that in the craft department, in the Christmas craft department at Hobby Lobby. I also got these holly leaves and berries in the same department at Hobby Lobby. You'll need your regular crafting tools, scissors, hot glue gun, a pencil, Aleene's tacky glue, glue sticks, a ruler, and I'm going to be covering all of those wood pieces. I saw this corrugated scrapbook paper in the scrapbook paper department at Hobby Lobby, and I don't know, just something told me this is what I was going to cover. All of the wood pieces that are of the reindeer's body with. And so I purchased this scrapbook paper. I purchased 2 pieces, and I don't know, it just came to me. I had this idea that I was going to make this reindeer with that corrugated scrapbook paper. And so I did, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So I decided, hold on, Dwin. So I decided where I wanted the holes in the bottom of my reindeer's body that I will later be inserting that jute-covered wire. Okay, now I have the head shape cut out. Again, I used my wire cutters, which I know seems a little strange, but I had to kind of nip the little pieces of wood out in the shape that I wanted them to be, or just the little indentations of the head. And I had to do the same thing with the ears. So I covered the sides of my wood with the brown paint. Now, you can skip this part and not use the corrugated scrapbook paper. You could paint it. You could use antiquing wax. You could cover it with scrapbook paper of a different nature. I'm just here for inspiration, and hopefully you find this reindeer cute enough to do, because it is so cute in the end. I'll show you all the features of this reindeer. So again, I painted the edges of my wood because I'm not going to be covering those with the scrapbook paper. I'm just covering the surface of the wood. Actually, I'm covering the front and the back. So I'm going to give you the dimensions of all of the pieces that I used, and I'm going to put that in the description box. The ears are 2 inches wide. The antlers in total is 4 inches long. The legs are 8 inches. The total piece is 16.5 inches. So I'll put that in the description box if that helps a little bit with the dimensions of creating this piece. So I cut out from my template 4 of these antlers. And the reason why I did 4 is because I'm going to be covering the back of the antlers as well. I'm also going to be placing some of those little tiny wood stick dowels. I'm really not sure what to call them, but I'm going to put those in there to reinforce the ears, to keep them from bending. But first things first, we're going to cut out 2 circles with this 5.5 inch wood round. I'm going to be covering the front and the back. I'm just going to be using Mod Podge to place that on there. I'm going to be cutting out 2 antlers for each side. And again, I'm going to be gluing those together, the wrong sides together, after I put some little reinforcements in there. And I'll show you that in just a few minutes. right now I'm just going through the motion of cutting out or tracing out all the pieces so that I could begin Mod Podging and gluing everything together. Same for the ears. I'm going to cover the top and I'm going to cover the back of the ear. Now this ornament obviously has a front side, but I tried to cover the back as much as possible so it wouldn't be unsightly in the back. I can't talk. I cut everything out with my scissors, and I ran my corrugation lines vertically on this piece. So I used my Mod Podge to cover the ears and to cover the body. And now for the antlers, I'm going to be placing those little wood pieces in there, just to reinforce the ears and make sure it's a strong piece, just like I have the wood pieces for the rest of the reindeer. I wanted the antlers to be strong as well. Okay, I'm going to be using Aleene's Tacky Glue to place those little sticks that you see there on the antlers. I'm going to be using Aleene's Tacky Glue for that. And then I'm going to be putting a stream of Aleene's Tacky Glue all the way around the edges of the antler. And I'm just going to close in those little wood pieces. And I'll show you what I mean by that. But you see how I'm creating a stable piece for it to hold these ears in place. And these little wood pieces cut very easily with scissors. But as much as I can, I'm just going to place little pieces of those little wood pieces on each of the arms, if you will, of the antler. I don't know what the heck you call the side, where it comes out. You see it right there. Oh, good heavens. Okay, so again, I'm just creating a stable antler. So you see I have that on there. Now I'm just going to take the top piece, place it over those wood pieces, and then I'm going to glue it and put some clamps that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to place those on the piece until it gets completely dry. Now later I'm going to be trimming those antlers with a thin jute cord from Dollar Tree. Yes, this was a lot of work, but like I said, you don't have to do all these extra steps. You could just paint it, but you're going to have to create some kind of stable antler regardless. So how you do that, maybe you could come up with an idea for that. This is how I decided to do it. If you decide to just paint your wood. Okay, so I have my holes, and through the back side, I just fed through that jute cord that's covering a nice heavy wire from Dollar Tree. And again, I cut my legs. My legs are ultimately 8 inches long, including the bell. Now, I didn't want my bells to be so shiny, so I just took some antiquing wax and just kind of lightly dipped my brush in the antiquing wax, and I'm just kind of blotting on a little bit of color. I don't want the bells to be so shiny and gold. And again, these are serving as the feet. Okay, now it's time to put the head together. I have there the head, the ears, and the antlers. So I'm just laying everything out the way I want it before I glue the head on to attach the ears and the antlers. I'm going to just use hot glue. I put a little bit of brown shading on the bottom of the ears, you'll notice there, just with a little acrylic paint and a kind of a dry brush. So I place the head down, hold it there till it's all dry. Now this piece is intended to be kind of rough and rustic. I wasn't looking for perfection. I kind of wanted it to be, as I said, a little bit rough and rustic looking. He turns out so cute in the end. So for the nostrils, and to create some little kind of crazy wiry hair coming out from the top of his head, I told you this is kind of a really fun, crazy piece that I added a lot of features to this reindeer. So I took one of those little wood pieces that I used to place inside the ears, and I just took some black craft wire from Dollar Tree. There's that piece right there. And I just wrap it around. I coil it all up. And I'm going to create some little coils that look kind of like some little crazy hairs sticking up from the top of the reindeer head, and then a couple going down on the forehead. I also make the nostrils with this. Now, I coiled up a piece of black wire, 2 of them, one for each nostril, and I coiled it up and pressed it together to create a little coiled circle. I'm also going to place one of those holly berries and holly leaves on the right ear at the base of the right antler and ear. I have some oval Google eyes. I bought the smaller ones. I don't want them too big. I like them small. And I'm I did not hot glue that on. I used Alien's tacky glue. And the same for the nostrils. It's actually still wet. That's why it looks white. So I went ahead and I glued the hairs, the nostrils, and the eyes on. I have my legs all attached. Now, after I stuck the jute-covered wire through the round piece, that's the body, I took the end of the little piece that I poked through. I just kind of coiled it around in a circle, and I put a dab of glue underneath there, and that will keep the legs all nice and in place. Now I'm going to create the wreath that's going to go around the reindeer's neck. Now I have to glue the head on so that I can place the wreath properly. And I just do that with hot glue. I had to cut through the wreath garland there that I'm creating the wreath with, and so that I could wrap it around the back of the reindeer's head. Now I'm making a little buffalo check bow with a nice little wired ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to create a little 4-loop bow with a center loop going right down the middle. And this is going to go right on the bottom of the wreath that goes around the reindeer's neck. This reindeer is, again, a larger ornament, but if you have a large tree, it would look awesome, like sandwiched between 2 branches, going down right down between the branches on the Christmas tree. You could also put this on a wreath, and you could bend the legs. That's the beauty of the wired legs. You can bend them, or you could put it on a swag. or you could use it as a wall decoration. You could just do you. It's just a super cute piece to make for your holiday decor. So I'm going to take the wire from the back of that bow and just wrap it around the wreath. I'm also going to be decorating the wreath with some little tiny snow-covered pine cones that came in a package that I got in the Christmas craft department at Hobby Lobby. There also are some little berries. There it is right there, little tiny baby pine cones. So I just took my wire cutters and snipped everything away from the stem. And I'm just going to place around that wreath those pine cones and those holly berries. And this is going to look so cute. I believe I used hot glue to place all of those pieces on the wreath. But first, I'm going to place the bow so that I can place the pine cones and the berries around the wreath accordingly. As I mentioned, after I completed this piece, I trimmed out the whole body and the whole head, antlers, ears, everything with that narrow jute cord that they sell at Dollar Tree. That was a little bit tedious, but it just seemed like it was perfect idea because we have the jute cord covered wire legs, and it's kind of that rusticy vibe. So I decided to trim it out. Now, probably if I had thought originally I was going to do that, it probably would have been easier to do it prior to gluing everything together. But I didn't think of it then. So I just glued it around, and I used Aleene's Tacky Glue. Oh, look at that wreath. So beautiful. Okay, so I'm showing you there. I have my little coiled up wires for the nostrils, my crazy little coiled wire hairs on top of the head, my holly leaves and berries. Now you can see there, that's the cord that I used. I trimmed out everything on that reindeer. The head, the ears, the antlers, everything. It was just like a nice finishing touch to it. And by the way, the bells jingle. So now all I have to do is trim out the body, and I do it with Aleene's Tacky Glue. Some of the tight spots, like the little hard to get to little areas, I used my little quill glue applicator. It just has Elmer's glue in it. But I use that as well because sometimes you can get in little tight corners with the fine tip of that glue applicator. So sometimes I rely on that. But now I'm going to show you how I just trimmed out the entire piece. I'm not going to make you watch me do the antlers or anything. That would have been too much torture. I'm just going to show you how I trimmed out the body, which was very easy compared to the antlers. And I just put a little bit of tacky glue along the edge of that corrugated scrapbook paper. Again, if you decide not to use a scrapbook paper like this and just paint it, or use maybe another type of scrapbook paper, this step could be completely omitted. Okay, so I had to decide how long I wanted my legs. And in my inspiration piece, the legs appeared to be about this long. I thought that was what was so cute about the piece, is that it had these long legs with the little bell at the bottom serving as feet. I just thought that was so cute, so I just had to make it. And I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. I think it's so, so, so cute. So I feed my jute-covered wire through the little ring on top of the bell, and I decide how long I want it to be. I snip it off, leave a little bit extra, fold it over the ring, and now I'm just going to glue it on the other side. And there we have our bell hooves for our reindeer. And I put a little bit of glue there. Aleen's tacky glue, not hot glue. I stay away from hot glue. It has anything to do with jute cord or burlap. It's just not a good combination. I'd rather wait for the tacky glue to dry rather than to deal with hot glue. Okay, so you can see there I took my little clamp, and now we're going to add the finishing touch. Oh my gosh, this gets cuter by the minute. So I have everything all together. Now this reindeer is going to have some snow tipped on its antlers, on the top of his ears, and on the wreath. As well, I'm going to put a little snow on top of the bells that serve as his feet or his hooves. So I take some Mod Podge. I love Dollar Tree fake snow. So I take a paintbrush and I dab on Mod Podge wherever I want my snow. So the look I'm going for is that the reindeer's been out in the snow, and on top of its antlers, there's going to be snow. So I just sprinkle that on right where I put the Mod Podge, and the antlers will be completely covered on the top edge where the snow would be resting if you were out in the snow. And then I drop the snow right into the Mod Podge, and this turns out so cute. Again, I also put it on the top of the ears. There, you see me doing it right there. Just sitting on top. This was the most fun part, I think, of the reindeer, putting the snow on. I love this. Okay, so I'm going to finish the other ear and the other antler, and now I'm going to just on the top of the bells and kind of a little bit down the front and sides. I'm going to put that Mod Podge, and I'm going to sprinkle it, this fake snow or the faux snow, right onto the Mod Podge. Sprinkle it right over it. So those bells or the feet or the hooves, however you want to call it, are going to have snow on them. So cute. Okay, so now I have all my snow. Now on my antlers and on the bell. Now I'm going to touch my wreath up with some snow as well. So I just take my Mod Podge just the same way I did on the head and the feet, and I just tap it on that wreath wherever I want. I put it on top of the pine cones, a little bit on the berries, a little bit on the leaves. And then I just sprinkle the snow on the wreath. And then after it was all dry, I picked it up and dumped off the snow, the excess snow, and this is my finished piece. It is too cute. I created a hanger for this piece out of that narrow jute cord. I just tied a knot and I glued it to the back of the head, and that's it for this piece. I just used some hot glue to glue that on the back. Oh my gosh, I love it. I hope you like this one. It's a little bit of work, but so worth it, so cute. Here we have the full look of this adorable reindeer. I hope you like this one, and if you do, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. If you're not currently a subscriber, I hope you will become one. And leave your comments. I love receiving them. Okay, until next time, y'all take care.